we have Diana. Let's see. All right, already. So again, we're going to talk about HPC and European vision. Well, the floor is yours. 20 minutes.
Okay,
please.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, good day from me too. Yeah, welcome to my presentation. I'm Diana Wang. I'm working at HRS. It is the High Performance Computing Center in Stuttgart. If you're coming from Germany, then maybe you know HRS. If not, yeah, a few words. It is one of the three national centers of high performance computing in Germany, and also a member of the Gauss Center for Supercomputing. HRS coordinates this project from EuroCC, and yeah, I'm working in the project controlling and management office. So I'm also in the coordination and also in the coordination of the German NCC. As you can see in the title, National Competence Centers for HPC, HPDA and AI-improved support through networking. You may already know that this project focuses more on networking and exchange and not on the HPC work, for example, itself, but how to work together in Europe so that we can achieve improvement with it. So let's start with a need. When we are looking at the European level, we will of course find some infrastructure and also strategy, research, etc. And the same is when we're looking at national levels, because here we also find some infrastructure, research, training, etc. And there are of course also activities on European levels with a linkage to national activities, but these normally are only single players from some nations. So the activities are not involving all players, for example, from one nation, or including all nations. So the idea here is, in this project, to build bridges, which means that we have stronger connections between these two levels. So what does that mean? It is a joint European undertaking. And with European, as Danny has showed to you the map, you can see here these are 33 countries. That means it also include non-EU member states like Norway or Turkey and Switzerland. It started in September 22 and is undertaking the fields of HPC, HPDA, and AI. And Danny has already showed to us, it is financed and supported through the EU, that means the Euro HPC joint undertaking, but also financed through national funding. So it is half-half mostly. And there's also another European project called Castiel, also supporting this project. So actually it's two projects in one, with the goal to set up 33 national competence centers. So maybe we will ask yourself, okay, why national competence centers? As I've mentioned before, we have a diversity within the European nations. So we have different approaches when it comes to support the users with HPC, HPDA, and AI. In this project, we focus on three target groups. That means users from academia, public administration, and also industry. if you're looking at the maturity levels, it differs, of course, because the national strategy is different. So with that, we of course have different maturity levels reached and also different strengths in different domains. The idea here is to set up a national competence center as a single point and to reach alignment. Why the center? Because, for example, Germany, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have 3 centers, and we need to have one competence center so we can centralize all these competences and pull together. And this, that map looked like on the right side, we have these NCCs in each of these countries. And this is already the first step, because the mission is to set up an NCC. This is the first step to have a status quo, to know, okay, what competence do we have in one country? This is the first thing. And then to set the framework to really implement that center. Then the second step is to support and to coordinate, especially for us as the coordinator of this project. The stimulation of national developments, or and especially because it's of course part of the goal to strengthen the skills on an European level. To put the goals together, you can see that we want to reach a broad service portfolio for every country. And as we know the competences, we can catalog these. So we know the status quo, but of course to increase these competences too. So at the end of the project, we would like to have innovative services, but also an improvement of the structure and the handling of users. And that the NCCs are established within the countries, that they are in the country also a single point of contact. So the society is aware of this center, and of course to be also a contact within the EU. Doing that is not easy. It's challenging because we will have, or we have actually, diversity of approaches, as every nation has a different approach, and of course different expertise and stakeholders, and as I mentioned before, with different maturity stages. But still, it is worth doing that because we can then use the synergy, and with a network established, it is possible that we gain more, as it is possible if we only look at the sum of individual nations. So how is it, how the setup, how it is done? Here you can see a setup of an NCC. And you can see in the middle the NCC as a gray box coming from the USCC project. And left and right, you can see these software developers, you can see the training, etc. But what's more interesting is the box in blue, where you see the gray arrow pointing to competence mapping and services. Because these are the relevant points when it comes to the relationship to the users. And it forms the interface actually to the target groups. So actually you can summarize that this project has 2 ideas. The first is to have one NCC, and then is the networking part. So if you're looking at the next slide, you can see the work package, or to be more precise, these are the tasks. Because every NCC is one work package within that project. And every NCC has these tasks you're looking at now. So we have the management task, of course, and then we have different fields like training and skill development, of course, also awareness creation, and as I've mentioned before, the competence mapping part, but also the industrial collaboration, the transfer of technology, and also the facilitation of access. So what does that mean? What have we done? I just point out some, some examples. So, for example, we have already collected training competences, and then collaborate with industrial and public sectors to find best practice methods, to get in touch with the industry, for example, or setting up some collaborations between the NCCs, etc. But also when it comes to competence mapping, we have identified 153 competences with within 53 subcategories. And when it comes to competence mapping and awareness creation, of course, we have a web presence, of course, and what you can see here in the middle, it is the competence map. So if you're visiting our website, you can look at it and you can click on all these competence national NCCs, and then you will see the competencies there. So if you are looking at the Swedish NCC, you will then see, it has no name, ENCCS. So because it is an abbreviation for EuroCC National Competence Center Sweden, and it is to be found enccs.ce, and you will also find this activity today, this event. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you cannot see it.
You need to share it.
No, it isn't integrated here. Sorry, but you can just go on this website and have a look on your nation and your country and their NCCs. It is not integrated yet. You're right. Yeah, and today the event, you can also find it there, and also some other interesting things like training, industry, etc., software. Yeah. And as you can see with this project EuroCC and with the help of Castiel, you can see the bridges are built. So I'm really happy if you also use that opportunity and go on the website, inform yourself, and of course use our services. This is my last slide. Thank you for your attention.
All right, we have some time for some questions. I see there is a question from Pedro in the chat. Asks, do you know what is or will be the interaction of Euro, HPC, and Plus? I don't know if it was, but maybe was it
Yes.
for, I don't know if it maybe was for the previous.
I think so. Yeah.
Probably yes,
For,
given the time.
yeah.
Yes, sorry. He wasn't sorry.
It's a little different presentation,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
that are most interesting. Can I just ask you one? I mean,
Yes, of
the basically inside the project is is building bridges and understand bridges between the different NCCs.
Yeah.
How the single, let's say, small research group, how does that come into action, into play, into this?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. I think it's the most interesting one for everyone here.
Yeah.
So what does the EuroCC have to do with me? Yes, I think you have many possibilities. The one thing is, of course, that you can, just like I said, go to here to EuroCC Access and inform yourself, because we have different events and also workshop. So if there is something online which catch your interest, you can of course participate. So we have different activities there. So maybe there is something interesting for you in general. And the second thing is, of course, you can look at your NCC. They are also offering training, etc. So maybe this can also be a yeah, interesting point for you. But if you have an idea what you want to do, or you need help to realize your idea, and then you can also contact the NCC, of course, because the thing is, that if you need help from other countries or if you want exchange, then all these entities are aware of which competence is where. So, for example, one country A has competence in one field, and you're currently working on that. So exchange would be quite interesting for you. Then this NCC can help you, as your NCC can help you, and to look at, okay, where are the other countries having this expertise, so you can get in touch. And what's also possible is if you want, for example, get access to industry, and they also have access to all these best practices, either in your NCC itself, but also from other NCCs. So it is actually an information platform where you can use for your advantage, and yeah, use it if you like.
Can it then be also like a partner for projects? Yes, like let's say collaborative projects can be one of the partners to provide networking or.
Yes, of course. I mean, I don't know which projects you have in
Yeah,
mind
that's
in general.
In general,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
I mean, it is.
European training networks,
Yeah.
of those types.
I mean, for example, the French NCC is working on that marketplace, and they have already launched it. So maybe you can also have a look at it. And then actually the marketplace is a platform what they have created, where you can also see where the competences are, which interesting project partners are available. So it is even more than just like I said, with the institution of NCCs, but within one country you can see, okay, who are the players? So you have some kind of, okay, Facebook is maybe too much, but yeah, you have a platform where you can see, okay, what is happening within that community.
All right. Any other curiosities or questions from the audience? Well, then let's thank Diana again. Thank you very much.